Hi guys, and welcome back to another week of Hard Hitters. This week, I'm your host, Sarah Mankowitz, and I'm joined with quite a few people today. I'm joined with
Tyler Watkins,
Nick Asselin,
Ian Lynch.
And we are already in week 8 of the NFL season, and so we're scooting along there. So for recaps, this past week we had the Ravens versus the Bengals game, and honestly, I think we all predicted that the Ravens were going to win this one. I mean, the Bengals have looked fantastic this season. I'm not going to lie, they've had a lot of improvements, but the Ravens ended up losing 17-41, and so Lamar Jackson just was not on it like we said he was going to be. So thoughts?
In my defense, you guys picked the Ravens. I was on the last episode, but my
you
pick.
would've picked
I would have picked. No, I would have picked the Bengals. Joe
Okay.
Burrow has looked really good this year, and they took advantage of the Ravens this week. So I actually would have picked the Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, like you said, he looked really, really good this week. He had 3 touchdowns, 400 yards of passing, and I feel like the offensive line played very well. And when the offensive line is able to play that good and only allow 1 sack, I think it's going to be a good game for Joey Burrow every single time. And Jamar Chase, he had a career game. He's easily standing out as the Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, with 200 yards and 8 receptions on 10 targets, I think it was. Yeah, 10 targets. He didn't even have the most targets out of any players. T. Higgins had the most with 15, and he didn't even put up those numbers.
and yeah, I think the Bengals are legit this year. I think this win really proves it. And I was on the draft Seawall kind of bandwagon in the offseason, but Chase has really proven everybody wrong. And I mean, like you said, he had over 200 yards receiving last week. So they're definitely legit after this win, and I'm happy to see Joe Burrow thriving in this offense. And this young team, I think they could make quite a run this season.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're kind of underrated, just like the Cardinals kind of were. But then we saw they came into the season and they're still undefeated. So moving on to Sunday Night Football, we've got the Panthers versus the Falcons, which we just talked about a little bit. I mean, the Falcons just beat the Dolphins, not by a lot, but I mean, the Panthers also just lost to the Giants by quite a large number. I think it was like 3-25, and so I've got the Falcons on this one.
That's the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take the Falcons on this one. The Panthers have struggled a little bit, well, a lot. I mean, losing 4 in a row. Sam Darnold gets benched last week, so that's kind of a morale killer for them. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to take the Falcons coming off that win against the Dolphins.
I got the Falcons too. Like you said, with Sam Darnold being benched last week, that's definitely a morale killer for them. And the Panthers, they've just looked really rough for the past couple of weeks.
No, yeah, I have the Falcons as well.
All right, so we've got the Titans versus the Colts. I got the Titans on this. I think they've looked fantastic, especially after watching them play the Bills. I think that they just looked great, and so I don't think the Colts have what it takes.
Yeah, I have the Titans as well. I mean, they have looked really, really good and solid since their fluke loss to the Jets, which the Jets had their fluke win of the season.
Yeah, that's
but,
not all.
But
So the Jags.
Derrick Henry's looking really good. They told him you have to be a quarterback to win MVP. He came out. He had a touchdown pass. So man's coming for that MVP in whatever way he can.
Definitely.
I got the Titans. They're playing their best football yet this season, and they just look great having Julio Jones and A.J. Brown healthy now, and then you got Derrick Henry out there throwing the ball too. I don't think the Colts got this one despite winning this past week against the 49ers.
We've got the Dolphins versus the Bills.
This is another 35-0 game.
Yeah, another blowout.
Will you guys put up points this time?
Probably not. I'm taking the Bills though.
Smart.
But yeah, they're like we hit on. They're just not looking good, and the Bills are coming off that loss to the Titans, so they're gonna want to come out and take out all that energy on the Dolphins, which is very unfortunate for them.
I mean, we've seen the Bills play the Dolphins obviously earlier in the season, and it be 35-0 blowout. So
yeah,
I don't think much has improved for the Dolphins.
Yeah, if the Bills were able to go into Hard Rock Stadium last time and do that big of a beatdown, this time it's going to be even worse this time around, I feel like, now that the Bills have home field.
Yeah.
Especially with Bills Mafia behind them breaking tables
yeah.
again. So yeah, I got the Bills.
Yeah, well, the Bears versus 49ers is our next game, and so I usually don't pick the 49ers because I just think they're inconsistent. But this week, I'm going to pick the 49ers. What do you guys think with Jimmy G and everything?
I think, the 49ers, the Bears are coming off a pretty much disappointing in all aspects. Lost a 38-3 loss in Tampa. Justin Fields had 3 interceptions, and I forgot how many fumbles, but it seemed like every time just somebody was up behind him and sneaking behind him and just ripping them. So
Yeah, I have the 49ers as well. Like you mentioned, Justin Fields is not having the NFL welcome party he was expecting. But he's got to adapt quick, and the Bears got to get things rolling, which I don't think they're going to be able to do this week against the Colts.
Steelers versus the Browns coming up, and we saw obviously in the playoffs last season how the Steelers were undefeated the entire regular season, and they played the Browns in the playoffs first game, and the Browns won and beat the Steelers. And so I honestly feel like the Browns are going to beat the Steelers again. What do you guys think?
I'm going to differ. I'm going to go with the Steelers here. You know, the Browns did not play that great this past week, despite, you know, they had Baker Mayfield out, Case Keenum was in there.
Which I think was a big part of it.
Yeah, they just ran the ball continuously, and they did a good job doing it, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that this week playing the Steelers. You know, the Broncos were a much easier team, I feel like, than the Steelers, and I don't think the Browns are going to be able to get away with it this week.
So we've got the Bengals and the Jets, and obviously we just talked about how great the Bengals have been looking this season, and how not great the Jets have been looking, and so need I say more? I'm taking the Bengals.
I'm taking the Bengals as well, even though that the Jets have signed elite quarterback Joe Flacco back to the team, so I'm taking the Bengals this week.
Yeah, despite the signing of elite quarterback Joe Flacco, it's not going to be good for them this week. I got the Bengals.
Next we've got the Rams versus the Texans, though. I've got the Rams. I think the Rams have an amazing defense that the Texans just don't have, honestly, and so anyone care to disagree?
Rams, enough said.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. You know, Davis Mills, rough showing this past week. They might get Tyrod Taylor back, but I don't think that's going to make a difference, just like Joe Flacco's not going to make a difference.
Next, we got the Seahawks versus the Jags. I've got the Seahawks on this. Obviously, we talked about the Jags a little earlier and how they only have 1 win this entire season, which is like, the Seahawks aren't all that great either, but I think better than the Jags.
I mean, a typical Jags season, so I'm going with Geno Smith and the Seahawks this week. They lost another close one against the Saints, 13-10. So, I mean, they are competing, but they're just not finishing strong.
I mean, they are going up against
they
pretty
are going
difficult
against,
teams. Yeah, I'll give them. So.
Yeah, you know, I took the Seahawks this past week, and they played. I mean, they lost by only 3 points, but they played terribly, I feel like. Geno Smith, he did not play that well. The entire offense just couldn't get anything rolling. So I'm going to go with the Jags. I think they're going to get their first win on American soil.
Second. Oh, on American
not
soil.
American
Oh, okay.
For the first time since week 1 of 2020. So yeah, I got the Jaguars. I don't think the Seahawks are going to come through.
So moving on to Washington versus the Broncos. I've got the Broncos on this, but I feel like it would be a kind of close game, honestly.
Yeah,
I can see it going either way.
Yeah, I feel like it would be a close game, but I'm going to give this to Washington and Heineke.
I agree. I'm going to take Washington. Heineke, he played pretty good this past week against the Packers, considering it is the Packers defense. But I thought he was taking some good deep shots, and I think they'll take this one.
I disagree. I'm going to agree with Sarah. I have the Broncos this week. I mean, both teams have been struggling lately. It's as simple as that. But I do think it benefits the Broncos that they are at home, and the home field advantage will help them come out on top.
Definitely. And we've got the Bucks versus the Saints, so I'll let you take away this one.
Yeah, good old famous Jameis. We're going to be playing against him this week, and I got the Bucks, of course. My team, I'm taking the GOAT, Tom Brady, over Jameis Winston. Our first full kind of game against him for the first time, so this is kind of a revenge kind of game for him.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take the Bucks in New Orleans this week.
Second to last, we've got the Cowboys versus the Vikings. So I've got the Cowboys on this. We could say it comes to subpar teams. I think the Vikings are one of those. And so the Cowboys have looked pretty good. I mean, you've said Super Bowl contenders, so take it away.
Yeah, no, they have looked really good. I do pick the Cowboys to win this game, despite Dalvin Cook on the Vikings. But, yeah, they've just looked really good. And I think they're going to continue to look good and beat the Vikings this week.
And Monday Night Football, we've got the last game. We've got the Chiefs versus the Giants. Obviously, there's a home advantage in play here for the Chiefs. And I mean, The Chiefs' defense has not looked great this season, but I think it's going to be better than the Giants at least, and so I've got the Chiefs.
Yeah, I have the Chiefs as well. You can also say their offense hasn't looked that great this year compared to last season. Mahomes, it seems he has regressed a lot.
9 straight games with a turnover.
Yeah, he's throwing a lot of picks this year. I just think like he needs to get back to playing football. He's trying too much, and it's not working out. So, but
how he's doing so well in fantasy, I don't know. It beats me, but.
But yeah, I have the Chiefs.
But yeah, I have the. I mean, it pains me to say it because I just look at this Chiefs team, especially coming off of last week, and I want to say the Giants so bad, but I never want to put my trust in the Giants.
Yeah.
It just seems so surreal that the Chiefs are sitting there at 3-4 this year, but I'm still going to take them this week. I mean, Patrick Mahomes should come back. He took that nasty hit towards the end of the week, and he was wobbling. Didn't look well, but apparently he's supposed to play. So just for that reason alone, I mean, it's Mahomes. I still trust him. So
Yeah,
I agree. It is time to worry in Kansas City, I think, but not when they're playing the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't think they shouldn't lose this one. I hope they don't.
Now,
lose
if
this
they
one.
lose it,
that was a lie.
Yeah, the Chiefs, I think they'll take this one.
Definitely. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and please tune in next week.